friends, welcome to Meadowsweet Farm. Today is October the 17th, 2020, and this episode is all about the featherweight sewing machine. I'm also going to share with you some of my finished objects and a few of my works in progress. I also tried a new technique, a no-knead bread recipe that I'll share with you as well. So come along with me, and hey, let's make something beautiful. So here is my homemade bread, and I made it in my Le Cruet pot. And I followed directions that my daughter sent me. Jacqueline, thank you. It's a little, I don't know, Jacqueline, if yours turned out this way, but the outer crust is pretty hard, almost like a baguette. I wish it was a little lighter, but I think overall it turned out pretty good. So there's my homemade bread. I'll keep trying. Welcome to Meadowsweet Farm, and today is October the 13th, 2024. So it has been a couple weeks, and I have been extremely busy. I had a lot of things going on at work. I had a celebration of life for my mom, and I had a class reunion that I chaired. So it's been a crazy couple weeks, but I've wanted to come on. First of all, I've got a lot of new subscribers, so I should probably introduce myself. I'm gonna turn the camera just a little bit there. My name's Bonnie, and I live in southwestern Pennsylvania. I live on a farm, and I have 2 rescue horses. I have a couple chickens. I have bees. I have a Doberman who thinks he's this big. And I have Scarlet Kitty, who my brother says rules the house. So my podcast is my creative life, and some of the things that I do. I love gardening, I love cooking, and I love all of the arts and crafts. I'm particularly drawn to weaving, and as you can see back here, there's my bee skep. I am in the process. I'm right now in my studio. I am not quite done yet. My schedule's been busy at work. I'm a professor at a small university in southwestern West Virginia. So I am back and forth on campus, and it's just been a crazy couple weeks on campus as well, with lots of some critical projects that I was working on that I had to get done. So it's just been a hectic couple weeks. So I really haven't had, until really probably this past weekend, a chance to really sit down and hunker in. Fiber arts is something that I am pretty heavily involved in. My studio that I'm here now, I'm trying to finish up, is going to be a fiber arts studio. I've got lots of looms, and I'll probably be teaching knitting and spinning and weaving and things like that, textile related. But I also love all of the vintage tools that go along with the fiber arts, including some of the vintage sewing machines. So I think a lot of my new subscribers may have found me because I did my last video, I did the tour at David's studio in Finleyville, Pennsylvania. And I want to say his last name's Selden, I think. And I have had some folks reach out to me regarding his contact information. So what I will do is I will put my email in the notes for this video, and if anybody's interested in contacting him. He did a great job repairing my crank sewing machine. It's a 1910, and he did a super job with that. So I am going to share with you my vintage featherweight that I purchased several years ago. And when I got this, it's been restored. I found it on the internet, and I think it was when they first started to paint the featherweights in like just really wild colors. So they're painting them. I'm gonna move you up just a little bit. I feel like, oops, sorry. Let's see if that works. Let me see. Sorry. The hand, that might be a little better. That way you can see me a little better. Yeah, that's better. Let's make you straight. Let's make Bonnie straight. Okay, there. Anyway, I bought this early on. Scarlet Kitty is talking. And now they are outrageously expensive. I did not spend the money that that they're asking for them now. So I will put a little video in here and show you my Babs, my featherweight machine. A lot of people were really interested in the vintage sewing machine tour. I got so many views, and I have 4 vintage machines. Clara is my newest one, and I'll put a little video of her on the screen. She's Clara the Crank, so I'll put that on here right now. I have been searching for a pattern, something that I can sew on Clara the Crank. Now, Clara is my new old 1910 crank sewing machine, and I shared with you the history of the Singer sewing machine. I got her refurbished, and we took a tour in the last video of a gentleman who collects the vintage sewing machines. So I have had this, all these different fabrics in my stash for a while, and this is actually, let me find it's here, it's right here. It's Wyndham Fabrics, Shenandoah Valley, 1850 to 1875 by Nancy Gear. Okay, so I thought that would be great. Look at this, I love the patterns. So I am gonna make, this is a free pattern, and on the Tilda's World website, she offers free patterns. So I am gonna make this Tilda bag. Isn't that gorgeous? And I thought that would be great. So let me show you the pattern. So here's all the pattern pieces in the layout. You do 2 of these panels. And I think there's 9 different fabrics in this one. I have 10. So I am going to cut these out, and I am going to sew things up on my Clara the Crank. So with my next video, hopefully I'll have things set up so I can show you how I sew things together, and hopefully a finished bag. Now I haven't found the lining yet, so I'm still kind of looking through my stash to see if I can find a pretty lining, but her colors are beautiful. Okay, so that is a project, but I also have Babs. And this is a sewing machine that I bought several years ago, and this is the featherweight, but Stephen painted her case pink. And let me open this up and I will show you. I'm not going to be able to lift her out, so let me lift her out and I'll show you Babs. Okay, this is, I think she's like 1935, but what I had done was I had her, I purchased her like this. So she's a little dusty because she's been in that box for a while, but there are several people on the internet who are refurbishing these featherweight, wonderful sewing machines, and they're painting them really pretty colors. So this is Babs, and she's a light pink, almost like ballet slipper pink, and I just love her. So let's talk a little bit about the history of the featherweight. So I found a little bit of history about the featherweight on a website called the Featherweight Shop. And I'll just go through quickly just some of the features that they incorporated. So in October 3rd, 1933, Singer commissioned the first batch, making about 10,000 featherweight sewing machines, and it was model number 221. So the design and the aesthetics of this new model had some very unusual features. So they had a 0.6 amp foot controller. They had a different bobbin case with a plate bracket on it. They changed the design on it to be they called it a bud decal design on the sewing machine, and they also had a take-up lever that was a straight arm rather than curved. And there were a lot of different features, different placements of decals on the handle. They had the Singer Manufacturing Company kind of on the top part of the sewing machine. And a couple really interesting features is they played around a little bit with the design of the case. They had a case that had a top insert that had different compartments, and then they switched it to just one big compartment. They did some things with the bobbins, and they also, in the late 1934, they must have taken this to a big trade show in Chicago, and they had a plate on those machines. It said "A Century of Progress, Chicago, 1934." So just a lot of really unique features. One of the really interesting things is, let me find it, the decals that were the silver decals on the front of the machine. They changed the scroll designs on those a little bit. Let's see, what else can I tell you? The interesting thing is the color of the machine. And they started, let me find it, it was at the very end of the, so they introduced in 1961 to 1969, they introduced two new colors of featherweights. One they called the tan featherweight, and this one actually kind of resembles my color a little bit. And then they also had like a mint green color, which I thought was pretty. So the folks that are changing the colors on these machines are not far off. We're used to the traditional beautiful black with all the really unique designs and decals on them, but they also did these pretty ones as well. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of history on the featherweight machine. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to show you some finished objects and also some things that I'm working on, some works in progress, things that I really need to finish that I've had sitting up in my sewing room for forever, and I really need to make a clear out before I start even thinking about new projects. So, okay. Now this, I know I've shown this before. This is a tam by Mary Jane Mucklestone. I love all of her color work designs. I'm in the process of working on another tam by Mary Jane Mucklestone. And I didn't make up the colors. I got this from the Woolly Thistle, and it came in a kit. But I really, really like this a lot. I think it's really pretty. I don't know if I did this. You end it with this little nubby thing here, and I'm not sure if I did that right or not, but I like it. So I have been working on these. This is the Springtime Cow, and off the top of my head, I don't know the name of the designer, but I will put the name in the description below on the video, but it is called Springtime. And I'm a terrible podcaster. I think I used the yarn that's recommended in the pattern, and I'll add that as well. But yeah, this is really nice. I think this will look really, really nice with like a blue jean jacket. Okay, or a nice cardigan. So I got that one, and this is my first one that I made. Earth yarns, I think. So, oh, look at those jewel tones. Isn't that pretty? And you knit back and forth, and then it's just a seam up the back. And again, this would be really pretty with a nice sweater or a blue jean jacket. Okay. Okay, now for my work in progress, I also do rug hooking, and I've had this upstairs on my ironing board for forever, and this is a rug hooking pattern, and I get this by I know them like I know my own name. This is called Skinny Series or Saltbox 2014. And Julie from I want to say the woolly thistle, but it's not. Oh, don't you hate when the train jumps the track? Not woolly thistle. I'll put it across the screen because I watch their videos all the time, and it's the only place I buy my rug supplies from. But anyway, this is so I'm doing kind of a series of the houses. So this has like a pretty leaf. The thread that you see, so what you have to do is once you complete the rug, then you put a binding around the edge so it's not showing the white canvas that you're working on. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sewing that on right now, and I have just, oops, nothing like pinching yourself. I have this much and then this much, and I'm gonna get a little rod and hang this on a rod. But I steamed it and pressed it, and I think it turned out nice. So I have one that I finished, and I have another one that I bought that I'm gonna work on next. I love doing this. So that one is almost done. Just not much time to finish that one. Just take me a few minutes. And then I bought this kit from Debbie Shore, and it's a purse that I made. I made this several years ago, and it has this, you have to put the handle on. And I'm afraid to put the handle on. So I just steamed the bottom and pressed it so that it looks really nice. It's a nice, really super nice bag, and I know it'll look pretty. I love it, but so I watched a tutorial. So she gives you all the fabric. I got this as a kit with the pattern pieces that you cut out, and then you just do kind of a crosshatch quilting on your sewing machine, and then you piece everything together. And it was not hard to do at all. I really enjoyed it. It's got a little bit of wadding in it for stability, and I really enjoy doing this. But the hard part now is, and I think it comes with a chain. Kitty wants out here in the worst way. So it comes with a chain too, so you can see there's like little loops so that you can carry it like a shoulder bag. Does anybody say shoulder bags anymore? Kitty, can you hear? Okay. So there we go. So yeah. So I'm gonna figure this out, and hopefully on my next podcast, this will be finished too. So the last works in progress, I've got a lot of works in progress, but I'm only gonna be doing just a few just to get myself caught up. So this is a hap, and they say you're not supposed to say that this is a shawl. This is a Shetland hap. And again, let me think. I can't think of the designer's name, but she's really well known. She's written a couple books, and I think her mom started her knitting patterns using some of the traditional Shetland Island patterns and designs. But this is done, this is a half hap, and basically you do yarn over in the beginning, and then you do a front knit on the last stitch, and it creates these little loops. And then once I'm finished with the triangle, kind of the center, then I start with different colors. This is Jamieson and Smith, and I love all their yarns. They're a little toothy, but I really, really love working with their yarns. Once this is finished, it just blooms beautifully. I've already made one, and I'll put a picture. The one that I will show you now is a smaller version of this. So I'm gonna do, this is the largest of the 3 sizes in the hap. And I also have yarn from, I get this Jamieson and Smith yarn from the Woolly Thistle. So the Old Tattered Flag, that's the name of the place that I get all my rug hooking supplies. Julie and her mom, how could I forget? I'm sorry if you guys are watching, which I know they're not. But anyway, the Woolly Thistle does carry Jamieson and Smith, and it's a toothy yarn, but it's their colors. I don't know if you can see, but you know, from a distance it looks brown, but when you look close up, you know, it's just everything that I think you would see in Shetland. So, but once I put this on hold, these needles on hold, and then I pick up all the loops, and then I knit the different colors, and then from there, I think I come back up here again, and I put the lace on it. So, so anyway, yeah, I'll put a picture of the one that I made right here. Okay, I think that's it, guys. So thank you to all the new subscribers and everybody that has made comments. I've got so many new subscribers. So I think I'm like 40 people, 40 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. So please remember to hit the like, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell if you want to get more information and know when I post. I usually post every 2 weeks. Just this last month has just been, you know, everything happens all at the same time. But next month, or next podcast, I usually do 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, hopefully I will have my Tilda bag done, and I'll show you some footage of me getting some practice on Clara the Crank. And I'll also plan a project with Babs, and I will share the ideas and the projects that I'll have. I do have another Singer sewing machine. I think it's a 1929, and I'll show you that one next week. We'll talk a little bit about the history of that one. And then I also have a treadle, and I would love to use my treadle, except the belt is broken and I'm not really sure how to fix it. So I may have to contact David and ask him, what do I do about this broken belt? So in the meantime, thank you all so much for joining me today. And please, if you have any comments or anything that you want to put in the comments below, please feel free to say hello. And I guess next week is the big Rhinebeck weekend, so I won't be going this year. I am going to try to go to Shetland Wool Weeks for 2025. They just ended that. They usually do that, like, I think the last week in September. So I have been looking at the logistics of going over and participating in the Shetland Wool Weeks, because my heart is the Shetland sweaters, the color work, the haps, the lace. I just love that kind of knitting. Okay, guys, well, thank you again, and I will see you in about 2 weeks. Bye for now. Take care. Bye.